Panasonic Lumix G series cameras are popular for their lower price range yet high-end performance, particularly for those who are into macro Four Thirds cameras. The G85 is a value-for-money camera for their everyday shooting. I have been using the Panasonic G85 for quite some time now. So with months of experience with this camera, I am going to make this hands-on review on Panasonic G85 to let you know all the major advantages and disadvantages of this camera. So with that being said, let's get started. Lumix G85 can shoot 4K still images, and in the burst mode, this camera lets me shoot 6 frames per second with autofocus turned on. I can also bump up the frame rate at 9 frames per second without autofocus. As far as low light shooting is concerned, Panasonic does an okay job. Here are some sample photos for your convenience. Despite being a macro Four Thirds sensor, I have found the ISO performance to be good in my experience. But when I crank up the ISO to a larger number, I have found the images to be noisy and grainy. And this is also normal for macro Four Thirds sensor. But still, those pictures are not unusable at least. As this camera comes with in-body image stabilization, I was able to shoot at lower shutter speed and still was able to eliminate shake in my footage. As for videos, this camera can shoot UHD 4K videos at 30 or 20 frames per second, and whenever I wanted more frames, I just needed to switch to full HD mode and shoot at 60 frames per second. Let's see some sample footage. As you can see, the video I have shot with my Lumix G85 is quite sharp and the colors are nice. This is a trivial amount of rolling shutter effect, but not very noticeable when it comes to rolling shutter. As you can see here, I am moving the camera very fast to see the rolling shutter effect. And there is, slightly. Definitely less than what you can find on full frame cameras. Because of its macro Four Thirds sensor, the readout speed is fast and thus the lesser rolling shutter effect. However, cropping is a major issue in this camera. If you record videos at 4K, there will be a crop in. Besides, if you turn on the stabilization, you will also experience a cropped frame. Moreover, if you plug in an external display through HDMI, it will also introduce crop. Now about the stabilization. The Panasonic G85 comes with body image stabilization and it works really well. It has dual image stabilization which combines lens stabilization and body camera stabilization to create an even smoother looking footage. Moreover, it also comes with E-stabilization, which is a version of digital stabilization, and you can use all three kinds of stabilization together to get truly stunning video output. Let's compare the video quality of Lumix G85 with Sony a6400. By the way, the Sony a6400 doesn't have in-body stabilization. This is just to see what is the difference between having in-body stabilization and not having it. Here is footage where I am walking around my Lumix G85 and my Sony a6400 in my hands. And as you can see, the G85 has pretty stabilized footage compared to a6400. The Panasonic G85 comes with a contrast-based DFD autofocus system, and it is definitely not as smooth as camera that includes phase detection autofocus like my Sony a6400. The issues with autofocus became more prevalent when I tried to switch focus from one subject to another. As you can see, I am trying to shift the focus, but it is really slow. And here is another footage where I am kinda making a vlog. And as I moved the camera a little far away, it lost focus on me and struggled to find me back. So that was all about the Panasonic G85. From the specs and sample footage, we can say that this is a pretty decent camera with adequate features and performance. Moreover, you can get this camera for $700. So considering the price range, this is definitely one of the best micro Four Thirds budget cameras with 4K shooting capabilities and in-body stabilization. The price and features also suggest that it is the best suited for those who are camera enthusiasts and not into professional shooting. And for its flip screen, vlogging with this camera is also very convenient. So what are your thoughts about the Panasonic Lumix G85? Let us know in the comment section.